Esports, our 100% journey, where we are at 11 of the 15 medals that we are going to get, 10 of 15 platinums technically. Target practice. So since we suck so much at target practice, I was thinking we'd try some target practice today. We kept a good humor about the situation last episode, and it resulted in the fastest platinum of our entire playthrough, so I say we do that again. Volley the ball off the wall and hit the targets. Controlling your swing speed and strength is essentially naming your shots. Sure. So in some senses, not too different from the previous tennis one that we attempted. And let's see how this goes. Oh, this wall somehow makes me feel nice. I don't know why. Oh my god! Oh, wait. So I don't have to get it immediately. I can take as long as I want to get the target? That's so cool. I was expecting the second I missed the target, it was bad, but the target's going to stay in the same spot, and I'm just trying to keep whacking it into that area. And I guess it only ends if I lose the ball. Is that it? Oh, well, this is going to be like super relaxing and cool then, isn't it? Oh, never mind. No, the wall behind it breaks. I see. So you want to be like pretty accurate, otherwise it's, oh no, oh, that's horrible. It's fine. I'll get the hang of this maybe. Oh boy. Okay, there's a lot more interesting. So this actually makes Nautico move around and stuff. That it does alter the sort of trajectory of the whole experience. But okay. In some ways, it is still much like the trying to get it through the gates that we had the last time we did a tennis one, which I don't remember what that minigame was actually called. I'm really having a hard time hitting this one. Oh my god! Just get it over there. There we go. Oh my god! That one went years away. Okay. What do you reckon the platinum score is on this? It's probably like 80 again. But let's just do our best the way we have it here. I'm not doing horrible on a first attempt here. This could be a bad score of some kind. Man, I'm really slamming them all into the same spot on the wall here. This is not great. Yeah! There it goes. 23 points. How much is that? That's a gold already? Really? What's the platinum? Watch it be 25. Oh my god. Am I just like in a good mood today, or the ones I'm trying really easy? Because it's the same recording session as the previous episode. It's 40 points. Okay. Okay. To be fair, I was like pretty confused and didn't understand what was going on the first time. Right, okay. And the first point's free anyway, so really it's only 39 points you have to get. Oh my god, I've already messed it up. So you know how this goes. At this point, I shush and try and just work it through and get it done. I have to wonder what this wall is made of, though. Targets are pretty kindly big, I would say. And this one doesn't exactly get harder the more you do it, unless you're making a lot of mistakes. I don't know how she was supposed to get that. Oh, okay, if you're returning them too sharply, I think it's maybe impossible for you to do it, so you kind of have to slowly work your way over for the ones that jump across the thing. Interesting. That would, in theory, pose a bit of randomness, right? If you're forced to smash the wall sometimes when you don't want to, then in theory, if you got bad enough luck, eventually the wall would just break, right? Unless I was just really horribly timing the way I was doing it. Was she able to catch that? I'm not sure. I think no. I think if you put it too sharply, you're done. So you need to slowly work your way over the wall. Interesting. That would be a lot easier if the wall didn't break. But to be fair, it does take a pretty long time to break. Actually, this one is a lot tougher than I gave it credit for at first, if it's gonna give you shots you cannot return. So I guess the trick is that I have to hit like really gentle and like, oh, I should be doing lots of upward swings so that it sort of loses strength as it goes high. Oh, but then it doesn't hit the target. I see the problem with that. But I guess if it's going too fast, I try and return it high so that it kind of loses strength. And it's an interesting mechanic because in the actual base game, you're not worried about sending it so hard that it couldn't be retrieved, because that's what you want. But here, the strength at which you send it is exactly proportional to the strength that comes back to you. So if you send it too hard like that, that would be good in the base game, is bad in this minigame. So it's a little weird there. That they would train you to do the opposite of what you try to do in the actual game, but even still, it's an interesting minigame so far. That was just I don't know why I did that. I'm having a bad time sort of getting used to what is too hard of a serve for Nautigo to catch up to with her little human legs. Because that's not something I have to worry about too much in the base game. And I'm a little worried I'll pick up bad lessons from this training exercise that I'll transpose into the main game. No, I'm dead. I was trying to do that one much gentler. I say I'm dead. I failed. I wonder if you can do the super serve in this minigame. Obviously it would be bad because it directly rebounds it at you. So then you'd have to save a super serve, but I do like that you have a lot of control over the pacing of this one though. It can go very, very fast, but then that you risk hitting the wall a lot or making a serve that you can't easily return. And you can sometimes have to take the time to slow down even though it feels like it's killing the momentum of your score when you don't want it to. Oh, right, second bounce bad. Got the target though, didn't I? How am I gonna get over there? How do I get over there? Ugh. Let's just get them all on this one side, okay? Let me think, let me think! I just keep getting it up high. No! Okay, it is interesting how it's like,
You beat the high
through the middle there, you're trying to like, wherever you broke it the most, you're trying to like go way above or way below that. That's quite fun and interesting. Again, not really too useful for the actual game, but it's an interesting mini game to use based on these tennis mechanics, I suppose. And actually, it's really fun. It does feel like there are a few points that I'm gonna maybe start that again. It does feel like there are a few points where there isn't actually an angle you can hit it at that won't really be bad for you, but hey, you don't have to do it infinitely, just to 40 points, so it's pretty fair, I would say. A little bit of luck in where they choose to move, how much they choose to like jump across the court, I suppose. Although maybe it's set and I just don't realize it yet. The other thing is sometimes it feels like Nautigo positions herself such that it's impossible to strike it late because it'll get the second bounce. I'm not really sure why. I thought I was doing the swing the other way. It's a shame. I guess I kind of did that instead of actually swinging. That's kind of, I can only blame the game so much for that when I barely moved the Wiimote. I did it again. Because I did the same thing. I did that instead of... Anyway. The one spot I was not supposed to hit it. I'm starting to think maybe the tennis is my favorite with respect to how well the controls are designed. Like, I feel like it actually does take into account very accurately the strength at which I'm swinging and everything. And the timing feels nice, and it just feels good and responsive. It's funny, I never thought much of the tennis one for this playthrough, but it's just very well designed and stuff. Makes me wonder if maybe they did this one first and then had less time for the others or something. That was just dumb. I'm not sure why it is, but maybe Nautigo just switches hands every single time, or like switches direction every single time, but I'm having a much easier time understanding which direction I'm supposed to swing from in this than the base game, I feel like. I feel like sometimes it goes to the other side of me I'm not expecting in the base game, but this one I'm rarely having that problem. Ah, see, like there, to get it to go to that far to the left, I had to leave it as far as the second bounce. And I don't really understand why Nautigo positions herself such that it's impossible to swing it that late. It feels unintentional somehow, like that's not supposed to happen. You know, the definition of unintentional. It's gonna be hard to get back over there. I think I probably screwed myself out of a platinum already. Yeah, I think if I make that big of a hole in the middle, you can't really hit it low enough that it would go under that without hitting it so fast that it's not returnable. So I think I made too many mistakes at that point. which is sometimes a little hard to gauge, because because you can't always hit it as late as you want because it'll be a second bounce. It makes it hard to tell if you're being extraneous with the number of times you're bouncing it off the wall to get it over one side. Kind of hard to explain, but the mechanics of it are weird, but still very fun and interesting. So sorry, I forgot to turn off notifications again. I will try to do that after this attempt. See, like there, I was trying to do it later, but if I left it any later, it would have been a second bounce, but I had to do it late because otherwise it would have, anything else would have brought me to the right, which is not where I was trying to go. So, I can't tell yet whether it's something I'm doing wrong to put myself in that position, or if it's a weird design /flaw on the part of the minigame. I don't think I have enough information to really be sure yet, so I won't act as though I am. Don't get so close to the wall. Gotta go. Thank you. Yeah, I think it's gotta be not intentional that it happens that way. Because, like, I left it... I was standing right in front of that target, basically. Like, it was only a little to my left. I left it just to the exact point that it counted as a second bounce, and it still wasn't late enough to go far enough left to hit that target. So either there's something I really don't understand about how I'm setting up the next shot, or there's something wrong with the way Not a Goat chooses to position herself, which is out of my control. Once again, sweetie, I'm talking about the game design, not your personal choices. I know you would never make a bad choice like that. So it's a little weird, but again, the score they're asking you to get is not so ridiculous that that's going to pose too much of a problem in the long run, I don't think. That was one time where she swung on the side that I wasn't expecting, so it kind of threw me. Yeah, see, that was almost perfect, but I left it just a hair too long. Maybe it's just a mindset thing, but it feels so much harder to go in whichever direction is late than is early on this particular minigame. I think it's something about how Not a Goat chooses which side she chooses to hold the racket on, but for one reason or another, hitting it late to actually go to the late direction, whichever that may be, depending on where she's holding it, seems really difficult in this one. Nevertheless, we've gotten quite close a few times now. The targets do start moving away from the center more and more at that point, but it doesn't ever feel like unreachable. It just takes a little more time to get to them. And if you've produced more holes at that point, that's no good. Mercifully, hitting the targets does not damage the back wall, so does not produce any holes. So it is another one where, as long as you're doing the better you do early on, the better it is. I don't know how to go, so I'm trying to go late here. And I don't seem to be able to. So I guess what I have to do at that point is hit it lightly to the early side so that she changes sides. So I know I just stopped my other train of thought, which I've completely forgotten now, but... Right, I was saying... it seems if you do well earlier on, it does help you later on, and I like it when that's the case. Anyway, yeah, I was having trouble going to the late side once again there, so I think maybe whenever I'm having trouble going to the late side, I should try and hit it slightly early so that she changes sides, and then I can... Because I seem to have be better at doing it early to move around. I know this is hard to understand what I'm saying, but it's because it's kind of hard to wrap my head around, period. So I do that so that I can get a nice early one going the other way, is what I'm saying. Because otherwise it's really difficult to make it go in the late direction. Well, sometimes, anyway. That time it was fairly straightforward. I'm trying to be really careful and avoid the holes here. This is weird though. This is really, really fun. It's weird. It's weird fun. This one. It feels like almost like you can make a whole game with this mechanic. It's really interesting. If it just had a bit of refinement and stuff. Just hit precisely to the right of that one 3 times in a row. But it's the ones like these where a mistake doesn't mean instant failure, restart the prior 5 minutes, that feel much more like a game than a chore. So I appreciate them for that. And I also appreciate that this one, a mistake doesn't mean just a loss of point exactly. It just means the situation gets more complicated, and I think it's a lot more interesting that way. That if I break a hole, now I have another sort of dimension to work with in my, as I'm doing the math in my head. So I'm trying to go to the right here. If I leave it too late, it'd be a second bounce, so it's tough. That one was a little easier. They gave me a bit more time to actually hit it late. I think it is based on where I'd hit it into the wall the previous shot. I do have some control over it. It's just not super fine, I suppose. It starts to slow down and get very deliberate around like the 32 mark, which I kind of like. But the tension is there throughout, is how it feels. I'm not sure quite what it is, because these ones are technically like easier ones to start with, and I've said before how I kind of have disdain for it making you do the easiest stuff over and over again, but I think it's because the quality of the wall matters so much by the end, and also you go through these first 20 or so pretty quickly, that it doesn't bother me so much in this one. I sent it too hard, but I was trying to go that way then that way to get an angle that it would let me go that left, because as you can see there, I was just smashing the wall in front of me when I was doing my absolute best to get it to go to the left there. That's really the main thing the main flaw of this one, as far as I can tell, is it's just weirdly hard to go in the late direction for some reason. And it seems like an easy fix. So I don't begrudge it too much, because there's a workaround, which is to just do a slightly early one to get it going the other way and change Nautigoat's direction. But sometimes doing that makes you do what I just did and do it way too hard and make it unreturnable, therefore. We need to get away from this wall. No! We don't have to talk about that one. Oh, it's because I'm not hitting them with enough power, so it doesn't bounce far enough to go late. That's a little weird, but I guess that makes sense? I'm not sure if it makes sense. It's a bit of a mind over muscle, this one. You have to kind of stop yourself from becoming stressed out about breaking the wall, because it's inevitable in some cases. And you have to stop yourself from being like, oh, it's about to second bounce, because sometimes that's just what you have to do to get it to go late, is bring it really near to the second bounce. So like if it's not in your control, why freak out about it and panic and mess yourself up, kind of? But then there's the added gamble of you can make it more in your control by breaking the wall somewhere else by sending it slightly early to change her direction. And then there's don't forget about height in all this. That's still important. To be clear, what I was saying before about this one teaching you bad lessons, it still does help with the main game because it gets you a better sense for angles, and there's a lot of and the back and forth that you don't get from the other two minigames, I suppose. The other two tennis ones. Because with the first one where it's just returning the serves, it's not really the same, because what the return shot you have to do has nothing to do with the shot you threw back at them, whereas this one it does. And of course the other one is kind of the same, where you're just, what you return, as long as you get it good, it doesn't matter. There's no like gradation to it as long as you get it in. Whereas this one, you can hit the target, but it still have it be a problem for you if it like goes too far, or if it doesn't queue you up well for the next target, so on and so forth. She goes pretty speedy sometimes, though. Okay, I have to think about this very carefully at this point. I need to do an early one like here to get it going way over that way. And then, I was expecting her to get a lot closer to it before I had to actually swing. It seems like maybe they've disabled the super serve thing for this game, which I appreciate. It does seem like a bit of luck would be involved in how often it made you like jump from left to right across the court, but I'd be quite curious to know what the world record on this one is. And I'd kind of be quite curious to watch it, actually. Watch them be left with like one block of the wall and just hit it between targets every time. Oh my god, I'm messing this up. Spaced out, my apologies. Not uncommon. Ah, well. Not so bad. All it took was a little female intuition. Hers, not mine. Platinum! Sweet, and that was in 59 minutes, just under an hour. Booyah! Sweet, I like that one a lot. Yeah, like I said, very weirdly brain exercising and engaging. That one was like the most mentally requiring of all of them so far, is kind of how it felt. Like I actually had to think about, okay, wait, so if there's a hole there, and I need to get on that side, but I can't do it like that. I have to do it barely to get there, and then I slide over there, and okay, I got it. Really a mental workout. Just feels a bit like there's a bit of luck in how much it makes you dodge back and forth across the court, I suppose, and doing it late seems weirdly hard for no reason that I can see. But other than that, that was super fun. That was almost definitely one of my favorites in the whole game so far. I'm trying to think about it now. Both of the ones I've done today, which is for you was the previous episode, were both pretty great. The baseball one was really well designed. I like that, though the second baseball one. This one was really good. In hindsight, even though it was the first one I did and it gave me so much trouble, the first tennis one isn't actually that bad, but it's a little annoying that it's kind of random how hard she makes it. Like sometimes when you get to 25, she starts like throwing these super rapid ones that are like impossible to return, and sometimes she does it lighter, so it's a bit random how easy it is. But yeah, no, I'm pumped about that one. That one's sweet. That leaves only baseball 3, boxing 3, and bowling 3 to do, right? Pretty sweet. I'm feeling good about the last 2 we just did. I think if I could just keep a smile on my face for the rest of this, I'll have no trouble whatsoever. Next move on the channel is going to be, I'm going to go through all my PlayStation PSN trophies and just talk about my experience getting them, because it's nice to reminisce sometimes. And I haven't played many PlayStation games on the channel. Games I'm actually getting PlayStation trophies for. The only one I think, actually the only one I think is Journey, right? Technically there are some very old MGS5 clips from the PS4 version, but I wasn't like doing a proper playthrough and getting trophies then. So I think the only time we've ever gotten a PlayStation trophy on screen was Journey. Huh. Well, that'll be subject to change one of these days. But that is over now, so thank you so very much for coming around. Hopefully I will see you around. Admiral's gonna be out of here now. On the nose for the tone of the game. Is there such a thing? For this game? Perhaps that's rude to say. From James Irvine, how is the game? Ocho Tampio, question. Are you a rock? Would you reckon these are actual emails that were sent to the developer? And the W, what is the strange number? Could you tell me what the significance of the number 111